It's about 2:48 in the morning, and I can't sleep again. Some nights I can. It's not too hard. But tonight, no matter what I try, I just can't fall asleep. It's hard to imagine it's been 2 weeks since this whole thing just exploded. Feels like eons. What does it take for one to realize that your whole world has come down like a house of cards? Sure, people are out shopping still. They're out getting their food. They're trudging from store to store looking for the nearest package of toilet paper. Well, what does it all mean now? I'm proud of myself. I've been able to get by the past few hours without looking at the news on my phone, watching the latest CNN video update, or reading a Washington Post article. I haven't even checked the latest statistics about the current case counts for Arizona. But I still can't sleep. What the hell's going on?
We go through our life being half prepared. Many of us try to stay ahead of it, plan for any eventuality, but occasionally we all get blindsided. We accidentally forget to pick up that Lego brick our child was playing with, stepping onto that needle-like corner with bare feet, screaming in banshee-like agony. While chopping an onion, we misjudge how close our fingertips are to the knife's edge, slicing open a fresh wound. Maybe we mistakenly think we have plenty of room to change lanes on a busy rush hour afternoon, and then someone in front of us hits their brakes too rapidly during the changeover, causing a collision. Day-to-day life is so fragile, and yet we trick ourselves into believing that we have complete control of our schedules, our goals, our destinies. Then, there are those moments in history where once or possibly even twice in a generation, it all comes grinding to a halt. Not just our own lives, but those around us. I think it's safe to say that coronavirus is doing just that. The new normal was supposed to be different from what we're currently experiencing. But I guess when all hell breaks loose, none of that matters anymore. Our new normal, surviving physical, social, and emotional isolation. How odd it is when we have become the news story. From Anchor, in association with Ubiquity Audio, I'm Aaron M. Wilson, and this is Coronavirus, Isolated Times. In this limited series, with new episodes releasing every Friday for the foreseeable future, you will hear personal thoughts from me relating to the current COVID-19 pandemic, my life, and experiences. This will not be news-centered, though you may hear me bring it up from time to time. My goal, by sharing parts of my life, my hope is that you may all find comfort in knowing that you're not alone in this journey. We all have different stories to tell, and maybe in sharing my story, it'll allow for you to share yours in some form. Coming up, after the break, you'll hear me as I begin to take in all of this. Please stay with us. Hey everybody, a moment of your time. This episode of Coronavirus Isolated Times is brought to you by Anchor. As a fellow listener, I enjoy hearing well-made podcasts, but I also enjoy creating them too. Want the convenience of both? Why not give Anchor a try? Anchor is currently the easiest way to make a podcast. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcasts right from your phone, tablet, or computer. Anchor will even help you to distribute your podcast for you, reducing your workload while making your show available to listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pocket Casts, and many more podcast directories. You can even earn money from your podcast with no minimum listenership required. Oh, and did I mention that Anchor is completely free? No money down, no subscriptions, no in-app purchases, no hidden fees of any kind. 100% free. Want all that you need in one app for your podcast needs? Then download the free Anchor app today, or go to anchor.fm to get started. That's ANCHOR.FM. When I started recording for this episode, I realized that my prepared opening was too full of itself. It was too much polish, no heart. Just me rambling on about what started as a small, mysterious outbreak in China grew to become a global pandemic. It was too news-focused, too NPR-ish. Long story short, my original opening was complete shit. It never was my true voice. I had to bring it all back to why I was doing this in the first place. Like any idea, it always starts with you. And I had to refocus on my journey to be able to navigate through this crazy time that we're in. It's a weird feeling, opening yourself up to the whole world. I tried journaling about this coronavirus pickle, but encountered writer's block. A strange thing to encounter when it's only a journal entry. So, I decided to go all in, full crazy. When you're in an emotionally tough spot, sometimes the rational solution is to be a bit irrational. I intend to keep my account general, but relatable as possible to you all. Full disclosure, for the sake of privacy, I have insisted to my family that I will not divulge names and private details. The only family-related moments you will hear will be recollections of general conversations and events not relating to personal matters, but how we're all dealing with this together as a family. So far, it's been 11 days since the outbreak was first declared a state emergency by the state of Arizona. And I think now I'm in a better place than I was right in the middle of all this. I guess kind of reflecting on all of it. It's something that I didn't think I was going to have to deal with for this long, or even for, I don't know. I'm sleeping better, for one thing. I just have to keep telling myself that I don't need to go to the grocery store to see how things are, even if we don't need anything. I don't need to think about the empty store shelves. I don't need to think about seeing biohazard symbols over people's faces. I don't need to worry about even necessarily the safety of our child. But at the same time, it's almost like there's a looming threat that I can't let go of. And I know it's in some ways a little bit irrational because of the steps we're taking. Over the course of these 11 days, we're now up to 152 new cases. 152 new cases, and now 2 deaths. We've increased 15-fold since the state of emergency was declared throughout Arizona. And now things have escalated. We are up to back this past Friday, all the restaurants were closed, save for to-go orders. All of the bars were closed, finally. All the gyms closed. Movie theaters closed. There's a few other categories in that update, but I forget right now. Being in the dark, even in times of crisis, is okay. I'm better now, but it changes moment to moment, day to day. How I'm going to feel later, I don't know. Anyway, talk to you later. Right now, it is Tuesday evening, March 24th, and I don't know. I think right now I'm kind of at that point in this whole journey this week. I mean, was this week 2 of all of this? And I think when you realize that you have logged so many hours of your day on your phone, on your web browser, on your Twitter feed, looking up the latest updates, the latest figures, the latest number of people diagnosed, number of tests conducted, and all this mishmash of information and thoughts swirling, that it just all comes crashing together and you're just drained. And right now, at the end of the day, I'm just drained. I slept better the other night, but I can't really say that I've slept very well since this whole thing really exploded. It brings a lot of things into perspective. Things that I didn't really think I was going to be able to process. I'm handling things better than I was definitely 10 days ago. But even with my profession and my responsibilities, I've been maintaining my social distancing and my self-isolation as much as possible, but there's only so much that can be done. You still have to get out a little bit. You still have to live, to walk, to think, to breathe, to see blue skies, or to hear the sound of birds chirping and singing when you didn't really hear that before. There's less people on the roads, but it's difficult to say how seriously people are taking this out here in Arizona. I don't know. It's weird because I think people are trying to maintain a sense of normalcy, but at the same time, it's very apparent by looking in their eyes, looking at their faces, that they are in fear. People I do not know are in fear of this. Like, I don't even know right now. Just giving it all. Just giving it all. And I know some listeners out there might not be religious, but, in my case, it's just giving it all to God. Just surrendering to something beyond my control and just saying, hey, I'm taking all the physical precautions I can, but the mental precautions, the emotional precautions, there's only so much I can prepare myself for, and I don't know what else to do. In my case, I have to think about not only my day-to-day, but my loved ones' day-to-day. And I have to think about the fact that there is only so much that I can do as a loved one. Because there's something about the mental state, the emotional state of oneself that it's so individual. And I can be supportive, I can listen, but there's only so much that I can do because I'm not that person. And this is a toll that the news doesn't always report on. Because how can they? They can quantify it a little bit and talk about general matters relating to this crisis, but they can't necessarily take each individual story here in America or worldwide. And I think it's something that I don't see as a failure. It just shows how diverse of a nation that we are. That we have so many people, so many different stories, different views. How can we be able to come close to being able to describe all the experiences of this ongoing dilemma that we're in? I promise that not all of these in the field notes are going to be all dire and doom and gloom. I'm just trying to get my mental state recorded so that I can better work on this. Coronavirus Isolated Times is created and hosted by me, Aaron M. Wilson, and is a Ubiquity audio production, distributed by Anchor. Today's episode is produced, edited, sound designed, and mixed by Aaron M. Wilson. Music provided by Nicholas Gasparini, aka Miyu, and Ashama Luev Music. Subscribe to the show on Anchor, Spotify, and via the RSS link. Coming soon to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Pocket Casts, and more providers. Or copy the RSS link to listen to the show in your favorite podcast app. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a rating and review for the show in your podcast directory. It'll help get the word out. We all are on this coronavirus journey together. If you have a story to share during this present time, please feel free to leave a voicemail by calling 602-644-1718. Again, that's 602-644-1718. You can even email me at isolatedtimespod@gmail.com. You can also contact me via Twitter at @TheAaronWilson, TheAaronWilson. And you can send a direct voice message via the Anchor app. Your story could be featured on a future episode. And as always, thanks for listening. We'll be back next week.